Well, hi, everyone. I'm not sure if you can see us as well, but welcome to BirchBark Foundation's quarterly webinar. I'm Dr. Mary Ann Birch, and I'm sharing with you my screen about our campaign, which is currently underway, called Smitten with You. Any of you who aren't familiar with BirchBark, we're a foundation that's been operating in on the Central Coast for coming on 10 years. We have three main programs, one of which is pet aid gifts, where we help people whose pets have medical crises and they're in low-income categories and need help. Our second program is pet loss support for those who are suffering the loss or the potential loss of the human-animal bond and how it affects them and their life. And then this education webinar, part of the goal when BirchBark became a dream to a reality, was to make sure that we helped pet owners be the best advocates that they could be for caring for their pets and understanding their behavior and being a companion for them in a positive way and enhancing their lives positively. So tonight, I'm very excited to watch Leslie talk about her experience in this cooperative care, basically preparing your pets for going to the vet. And for me at the other end, who's the veterinarian, I think this is a really important thing to make sure that it's a positive experience for the pets to come in and have a good, as much as we can make it a positive experience so that there's not some drama in the future when they go back to the vet. So Leslie's background is she's actually a registered veterinary technician and a certified professional dog trainer. She is fear-free certified, elite, and low stress handling certified. She did an apprenticeship program with the local dog trainer, Marty Richmond, and is currently working towards obtaining a certification in cat behavior consulting. So we're very lucky to have Leslie, our local Paws First cat and dog training expert, here to help us. So I'll turn that over to Leslie and her screen and look forward to the program.
Great. Are we good to go? Can you guys see my presentation there?
Looks good.
Yes, I can see it.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marianne. I'm super excited to be here. Cooperative care and helping to prepare pets for their vet visits is something that I'm super passionate about. I understand how hard it can be and how stressful it can be to bring your pet to the vet hospital. So hopefully you will find some information tonight that you guys can find helpful and useful. All right, so what is cooperative care? I consider cooperative care to be working at our pet's comfort level in the care that they receive. One aspect of cooperative care can be helping our cats and dogs to be comfortable with or reduce the types of stress associated with certain events or procedures. So this is usually associated with any type of handling procedure that you do with your pet. A few examples would be bathing, nail trims, brushing, vet visits, or giving medication. And then how does it apply to vet care? So we can train and work with our dogs and cats to tolerate, accept, and even be willing participants in their veterinary care. There are different levels of cooperative care that can be done at the vet hospital and at home. So tonight I'm going to talk about things that you can actively do to help reduce your pet's stress associated with vet visits on the day of your appointment, easy things that you can do during their vet visit, options on how to prepare your dog or cat for future visits, and then things that you guys can do to maintain that positive association that you may already have with your veterinary care team. And then there'll be time for questions at the end. So if your pet gets really nervous at the vet, try to book your appointment during less busy times if possible. I know a lot of veterinary hospitals are really, really busy right now. So maybe just call and check in and see if there's a time where it's at least busy as possible. So this might be first thing in the morning, first appointment after lunch, and your clinic can let you know again when their least busy times are. And most people think of their appointment starting when they get to the vet hospital or when the vet sees their pet, but think about it starting anywhere from a half hour to an hour before your pet's appointment. So everything that happens during that time can affect how your pet feels and experience at the vet hospital. And then tonight we're going to be talking about both dogs and cats, but first we're going to talk about dogs. So the day of your appointment, things that you can do before you go to the vet hospital, I'm going to talk about. A lot of these items come from Fear Free Pets and Fear Free Happy Homes, and I'll share their websites at the end. They have some great resources. One of the things that you can do is give yourself plenty of time before and after the appointment. This makes sure that you have enough time for traffic, construction, or weather changes, which could delay travel time. Another reason for giving yourself plenty of time is sometimes dogs can get car sick. So if we're rushing and driving erratically, this can increase the chance that your dog could get sick. And if your dog does get car sick, you can talk to your vet and see if there's any medications that they can prescribe to help with the car sickness. If your pet is getting a routine checkup and vaccines with no concerns, then having them exercise beforehand may be helpful to decrease some of that pent-up energy or stress. Have your dog go pee or poo beforehand, unless your vet says not to. Sometimes your vet may need to collect a urine sample, then we do not want to have our dog relieve themselves. Bring a fecal sample to your yearly visit. If your dog is having diarrhea or a change in their stools, this way the doctor doesn't have to collect the sample from your dog because you've already brought it. And if you're giving any pre-visit medication, give it at the appropriate time and amount prior to your appointment. So you want to bring your dog hungry but not hangry. So this may mean your dog gets a smaller breakfast, so maybe half to a quarter less than what they would normally get. Bring your dog's favorite treats and a few toys that they like. Some people bring kibble, which is okay if your dog really likes their kibble or if they're on a special diet. But most of the time you want to try and bring something super high value that maybe your dog doesn't normally get. So stuff like hot dogs, cheese, steak, chicken. And if your dog is sick or not eating, then maybe bringing their favorite blanket or a mat that they like can be helpful. And then bringing a video of any behavior you would like to discuss with your vet. So oftentimes when your dog comes to the hospital, they don't show the same signs or symptoms that they're showing at home. So for example, limping, maybe getting up from a resting position, they may look kind of weird, or any behavior that you're concerned about. But with that note, we don't want to make our pets do the behavior in order to capture it. We just want to capture it naturally. So if we see it happening, maybe we just whip out our phone and take a quick video. And then you also want to have your phone handy and charged to receive calls if you're still doing curbside with your veterinary hospital. And then you want to prepare your vehicle for a calm departure. So this may consist of playing calm music or an audiobook. There have been a few studies done that show certain types of music or sounds can have a calming effect on animals, and even some genres that seem to be more favorable to the pets. So stuff like soft rock, reggae, or classical. And then there's also music specifically made for dogs and cats for calming. And then I also just recently realized that Audible has some audiobooks for dogs, which is pretty interesting. And there's kind of been some talk about Bob Ross, the painter, doing having him as an audiobook or just listening to him in the background. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, he's got that really calm, soothing voice. Something else that you can do is apply Adaptil, which is a dog appeasing pheromone. You want to apply it to a blanket or a bandana, and you can place that bandana around your dog's neck. You want to apply it at least 10 to 15 minutes before using it for your dog. If we apply it right away, it could smell like alcohol, which could be aversive, and that kind of has the opposite effect that we want to have on our dogs. And Adaptil can be purchased at pet stores. I know some vet hospitals probably sell it. Even some online stores probably sell it as well too. Something else that you can do is have the inside of your vehicle a comfortable temperature. So if it's warm outside, maybe cool the inside, and then the opposite, if it's cold outside, maybe warm the inside. And then you want to have your dog secured safely in a kennel or some sort of seatbelt. You don't want them running around in your vehicle. This can cause them to get worked up, and then also a safety issue. And then when you get to the vet hospital, if you're still doing curbside, you want to get your dog out of the vehicle for your vet care team. Some dogs can be uncomfortable with a stranger coming into their space. Walking to the building with your dog can be less stressful for your dog. And if you're going in with your dog, if your dog is uncomfortable walking up to the building, you can create a treat trail to the building. So this may look like taking a few steps and then tossing a few treats in front of you, or placing a treat beside you when your dog catches up to you. And then also using a favorite toy to engage movement towards the clinic. This may look like a little bit of tug every few steps, or your dog even carrying the toy in their mouth on their way into the hospital. And then when you're inside, if your dog is uncomfortable with the scale, you can create a treat trail to the scale. You can also cover the scale with a towel, or do both. So cover it with a towel and then have a treat trail to the scale on the towel, and then have like a little jackpot at the end, which would be several treats in a little pile to distract your dog while they're getting their weight. And then I have a video of a treat trail here. So these are sped up. I don't actually move that fast. So here's a treat trail, and then I put some treats at the end in that little jackpot pile for my dog. And here I'm making another treat trail. And a jackpot at the end for them. And then cats can enjoy treat trails too. And then in the exam room, things that you can actively do to help is let your dog explore the exam room. You can play some fun games in the exam room as well. So treat tosses, the up and down game, a treat scatter, toy play, or other fun tricks that they like, such as touch or sit, can be played in the exam room there. You want to let your vet care team know about any sensitive parts on your dog. So your vet care team can handle that part last. If you're able to be present for the exam or treatment, discuss with your vet your role in the procedure. So let them know if you feel comfortable holding your dog, or if you feel more comfortable just distracting your dog with treats, pets, or praise. And then your veterinary care team can let you know what they're comfortable with you doing. So this is one benefit of having that veterinarian client-patient relationship. So you guys can discuss this kind of stuff and see what's the best for your pet. Something else is to be aware of yourself. So sometimes when we get nervous, we may talk faster or in a higher pitch. We may pet our dogs really fast or act a little bit different. And our dogs can pick up on these subtle signs, and this can also be a signal for them to be uncomfortable. So something to think about is fast petting is for excitement, and slow petting is for calm and relaxation. Something else to think about is needs versus wants. So think about what is needed that day and what can you come back for another day to have done. So an example might be nail trims or vaccines. Do we need to have all of those done on the same day? Can we do maybe 1 or 2 vaccines and then come back another day for the rest of the vaccines, or come back another day for the nail trim? So do treatments in multiple stages. Your vet may recommend sedation for the procedure if your dog is too nervous or painful, or they may recommend to come back another day with some pre-visit medications on board. And then here's a video of some games. So here's the treat toss. And so we're tossing the treat just back and forth for the dog. And so basically you're just tossing it in the opposite direction. And then here's the up down game. So you're just putting a treat on the ground. Your dog looks up at you and then you put a treat down. Cats can play the games too. So you put a treat down, kitty looks up at you, you put another treat down. And then a treat scatter. So you're just scattering treats all around, and then your dog has to sniff around and look for them. And then if you're going to vaccine clinics, so some of the previous recommendations for reducing stress and preparing your dog for their visit can apply. So your calm departure, calming music, comfortable temperature in the vehicle, the Adaptil sprayed on their blanket or a bandana, bringing your dog hungry, bringing lots of treats and some of their toys. Other considerations, if you can get there early and go first or go near the front of the line, that way you're not waiting around for a long time, less of a chance for your dog to get amped up. If possible, keep your dog in your vehicle until the vaccine clinic is ready for you. And if you have a nice friend who will come with you and wait in line while you wait in the vehicle, and then when it's almost your turn, they can text and let you know that they're ready for you. And if you're doing the mobile vet clinics, again, you can use the Adaptil on a blanket or a bandana, have your dog exercised before their appointment. If they're just having like an annual visit or no concerns or vaccines. Also have your dog go pee or poo beforehand, unless your vet says not to. Sometimes your vet may need to collect a urine sample, and then again, we don't want them to relieve themselves. Keep a fecal sample for your yearly visit if your dog is having diarrhea or change in their stools. And then this way that your doctor, again, doesn't have to collect the sample from your dog. And then if you're giving any pre-visit medication, give it at the appropriate time and amount prior to your appointment. Also have your dog hungry but not hangry. Have some of your dog's favorite treats and a few toys that they like available. And then again, show any video of a behavior you would like to discuss with your vet, unless your pet performs the behavior while your vet is there. And then you also, again, want to let your vet care team know about any sensitive parts so they can handle that part last on your dog. And then again, discuss with your vet if you feel comfortable holding your dog or if you feel more comfortable distracting your dog with treats. And then again, they can let you know what they're comfortable with you doing as well. And then these are things that you can do to prepare for future visits. Some of these items require a bit more preparation and time commitment than doing the day of. The time spent on these procedures varies on your pet and your dog's comfort level, but I feel like it's worth the time commitment. So happy visits to the vet hospital. These can be as simple as showing up to the parking lot and doing a treat toss with your dog, or walking into the clinic and giving your dog some treats on the scale. We previously talked about some fun games that you can play. So you can play those for your happy visits. They can be played in the parking lot, in the lobby. This will help to build up your positive association bank. So every time that your dog comes to the veterinary hospital, they're not always getting treatment. You want to keep these sessions short. So I would say no more than 5 or 10 minutes. And then also just double check with your hospital and ask them when a good time to come by would be. Or you can go when your hospital is closed if you're just going to the parking lot. Practice handing off the leash and walking away with a stranger. This seems to be a hard one for a lot of dogs. Practice first with someone your dog is comfortable with, and then when they understand that they're walking away with this person, then you can practice with someone who your dog is maybe not so familiar with. And then you can repeat the process in maybe different locations and then work your way to the hospital. And then the person who's walking away with your dog, they can give them treats as they're walking away with them. Muzzle training your dog. So a basket muzzle is preferable. They're more comfortable than the cloth or nylon muzzles. They allow your dog to pant, eat, and drink with the basket muzzle. And sometimes less restraint is needed if your dog is muzzle trained. The muzzle can help to make the vet care team more comfortable. And if they're comfortable, then your dog's going to be more comfortable. And then I previously mentioned about some pre-visit medications. So you want to discuss this with your vet. These can help to reduce your help reduce your dog and maybe reduce the anxiety that your dog is having. Again, you want to practice this and do a test at home before your actual visit to see how your dog is going to react to the medication. And then setting your dog up for success. So if you get a puppy or even adopt a new dog, you want to start off building that positive association early with the vet hospital. So this would be your happy visits in the lobby, in the scale, or in the parking lot. Take dog training classes and puppy classes that are positive reinforcement based. Practice cooperative care procedures with your dog. And then let's not forget about our other furry friends, the cats. And so similar stuff with the dogs. You can prepare your vehicle for a calm departure. So your calming music, comfortable temperature, a comfortable place for your cat. Again, give yourself plenty of time before and after the appointment. So consider the time that it may take to collect your cat. Ideally, your cat would be comfortable going into their carrier. You often hear, or we often have clients sometimes where they can't find their cat, or they have a hard time collecting their cat, or they can't put their cat in the carrier. So if your cat is carrier trained, that would be ideal. Give any pre-visit medication at the appropriate time and amount prior to your appointment. And then again, have your phone handy and charged, ready to receive calls from the vet if your hospital is still doing curbside. So you want to cover your carrier with a feel-away towel. And the feel-away is a cat pheromone. And so same thing, you want to spray the towel and you want to spray it at least 15 minutes before covering the carrier. Again, if you spray it and then use it right away, it may smell like alcohol, and that can be aversive to the cat. You want to have your cat hungry but not hangry. So again, bring some of your cat's favorite treats, a few toys that they like, and a brush if they like to be brushed. Bring a video of any behavior you would like to discuss with your vet. So if your cat's limping, litter box use, any behavior that you're concerned about. And then again, we don't want to recreate that behavior, but if you see it naturally happen, you can just take out your phone and take a quick video. Or if you have any of those cameras set up like Nest or Furbo, those are great resources as well to capture your cat doing some stuff. And then things you can do at the hospital and during your visit with your cat. So when you carry your cat into the hospital or anywhere, you want to hold the carrier from the bottom, so like a package. This is more stable and less of a roller coaster ride for your kitty. If you're waiting in the lobby area, you want to elevate that cat carrier off the floor, maybe place it on a stool or on your lap if there's nowhere to place it. Still have it covered with the towel. And then when you're in the waiting in the exam room and it's safe to do so, so maybe check first around the room to make sure that there's no places that your cat can hide and get stuck. You can open the door and let your cat come out and explore the room. If your cat is totally stressed out and doesn't want to come out, that's okay. And if your cat doesn't want to come out, then if you have one of those carriers where the tops come off, just loosen the top, but still leave the top on. And then that way it's ready to be taken off when the vet comes to look at your cat. And letting your cat explore the room on their own. So you can encourage them with treats to come out of the carrier. You can make a treat trail or use if you brought a toy, you can take a wand toy and encourage your cat to come out that way. You want to let your vet care team know about any sensitive parts so they can handle that part last. And then also discuss with your vet care team your role in the procedure. So let them know if you feel comfortable holding your cat or if you feel more comfortable distracting your cat with treats, pets or brushing, if your cat likes it or prays. Sometimes we have to be a little bit mindful with our kitties because they can get overstimulated. So if your cat is one of those cats, maybe just short little scritches around the face to help calm them. And then your vet care team can also let you know what they're comfortable with you doing. And then again, beware of yourself. Sometimes when we get nervous, we may talk faster or in a higher pitch. We might pet our cats really fast or act a bit different. Again, our cats can pick up on those subtle signs, and this can be a signal for them to be uncomfortable. Again, fast petting is for excitement and slow petting is for more calm and relaxation. And again, if your cat gets overstimulated easily, just petting around the face and the cheeks. Again, something to think about is the needs versus the wants. So what needs to be done that day, and what can be done to come back for another day that doesn't need to be done that day. So maybe nail trims, again, vaccines. And then again, your vet may recommend sedation for the procedure if your cat is too nervous or painful, or they may recommend to come back another day with some pre-visit medications on board to help calm them. And if your kitty is doing the vaccine clinics, again, some of the previous recommendations for reducing stress. So the calm departure, the calming music, comfortable temperature in your vehicle, no erratic driving, bringing treats. Again, seeing if you can get there early and go first or near the front of the line. That way you're not waiting around for a long time and less of a chance for your cat to get amped up. If you can keep your cat in your vehicle until the vaccine clinic is ready for you, if possible. And again, if you have that nice friend who will wait in line for you and then text you when you're ready, then you can bring your cat out. And then keep your cat's carrier covered with a towel, sprayed with Feliway and elevated. So you can always bring a lawn chair and have your cat carrier on that. If your cat comes on a leash or harness, have a home base. So something like a backpack or a carrier that they're comfortable going into. So if they get stressed or nervous or overwhelmed, then they have that place where they can go and hide. And if you're doing the mobile vet clinics, you can have, again, a Feliway towel, an elevated surface, a comfortable place for the exam. Keep your cat in a room prior to the exam. If you think that they're going to take off or hide when the vet comes. Give any pre-visit medication at the appropriate amount and time before your appointment. Have your cat's favorite treats available, any toys that they like, and a brush if they like to be brushed. And then again, show a video of any behavior you would like to discuss with your vet if it's not visible for your appointment. Again, let your vet care team know about any sensitive parts on your cat so they can be handled last. And then discuss with your vet if you feel comfortable holding your cat, or if you feel more comfortable distracting your cat with treats, pets, or brushing. And then they can also let you know what they feel comfortable with as well. And for future visits, things that you can do, again, these require a little bit more of a time commitment than doing the day of. But again, I feel like the time spent on these is well worth the time spent. The biggest impact you can have with your cat is to train your cat to be comfortable in their carrier. The whole experience can be way less stressful if our cats are comfortable with traveling in their carrier. Think about if you have to find and ambush your cat and then try and put them in the carrier that it hates. There was a study done that cats who were carrier trained were less stressed in their carriers on the way to the vet hospital, and their exams were also shorter. Think about the type of carrier as well. This makes a difference. You want a carrier that opens from the top and from the side. So these are multiple ways for the cat to come in and out. When the top doesn't come off and there's only one entry and exit point, it can be pretty stressful to get your cat out, both for the cat and the human. You want to think about size, so make sure it's the right size for your cat. They should be able to sit and turn around comfortably. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a soft or a hard carrier. And then ways you can help your cat be comfortable with their carrier is you want to leave it out all the time. So it becomes part of the furniture. And you can play in it and play around it with your cat. You can put treats inside the carrier. And I'll have some resources at the end for carrier training for you guys. And then previously mentioned as well, speak with your vet about any pre-visit medications to help calm and reduce your cat's anxiety. Again, you want to do a practice test at home first before your actual vet visit, just so you know how your pet's going to act to the medication. Training your cat to do different behaviors will also be beneficial. Targeting, stationing, recall, teaching your cat to go into their carrier on cue. Practice moving your cats around in their carrier, do short drives in the carrier if they're comfortable with that. And then if you get a kitten, start off building that positive association early and right away with the carrier and positive handling. And then I have some videos here to show you guys of some cooperative care. So this is Boomy and his mom. So they took a couple of my vet prep classes, and Boomy's mom expressed that she wanted to learn how to give her dog injections. And so you can see here, she trained him to go to a station. So he's on a mat. She did a couple warm-ups there with him. And then now she's going to do the real injection. She gives him that injection. And then she rewards him heavily afterwards with some treats. He's such a good boy. And then in this next video, you'll see Shadow. And Shadow and her mom worked on doing a chin rest to help Shadow hold still for her injection. And so she holds still, and then she gets a predictor cue. So I say poke. When I'm going to give her her injection, I give her injection, and then her mom releases her for a treat toss, which you've seen previously, which I showed in the videos there. And then here's Poe. So you can kind of see him in the background over here. So I call him over for his oral medication. He gets a pill, and this is one of the cats at the clinic that I work at. I trained him to take oral medication and also to come when called. So there he takes it, and then he gets his reward afterwards. And these are sped up as well too. He actually doesn't look that fast. And then here's Poe again. And so I taught him how to station. So he goes on his mat, and he's been heavily rewarded for going on that mat. So we're not having to hold him or chase him down. He goes there willingly. And then I'm going to distract him with a churu there. Well, my wonderful coworker gives him his injection there. And then here's some pictures from some happy visits. So there's Rocky on the left there. He's been coming to the clinic a few times, and his mom and dad were saying that probably after the last couple happy visits that he started to get excited when he approached the hospital, which was pretty cool. And then in the middle there is Yoshi doing a little treat trail. And he came to one of our happy visits, and he was really nervous. He didn't want to come to the back. His tail was tucked. He wasn't really taking treats. And then we gave his mom a pup cup, so a little cup full of whipped cream, and she gave it to him. And then after that, he was all in. He was taking all the treats, he was doing the activities, and he actually didn't want to leave at the end. So that was a pretty cool change to see. And then on the right there is Rhea. Rhea gets nervous coming to the vet hospital. She's come to quite a few of our happy visits. She's doing a cone maze there. And her mom was saying that, so before, when she would come to the vet hospital, she would cower in the car and she wouldn't want to come out. And after her happy visits that she's done, she'll actually come out of the vehicle willing to the vet hospital. She's still nervous, but she'll come out of the vehicle willingly, which I think is pretty awesome. And then here's some pictures from some of my vet prep classes. So there's little Rocky on the left there, getting her heart listened to out on a field trip. In the middle there is Reese with his dad doing some cone games. And then on the right is Shindy Chu with her mom, and they're training towards a jugular blood draw hold. And then here's some of those references and resources for the cat carrier training, and any information on my slide. And then if you want to learn more, this book on the left here, Cooperative Care, is a fantastic book. If you want to learn more about doing some cooperative care with your pets, you can check out my website for some more information on classes that I have. I have some classes coming up. And then Fear Free Happy Homes and Fear Free Pets. They also have some great resources on cooperative care and preparing your pets for vet visits. And then that's the end. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you guys found some tips helpful. And if you have any questions or any ways that you help to reduce the stress for your pet's visit, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. That was really great. I have some questions coming in. Actually, this looks like a beautiful statement from Evie Sharp saying, fantastic. She highly recommends most of what you've covered here.
Awesome.
So, and I think that's what to have that recommendation from veterinarians is pretty, I think that's great. And everything that you talked about, it was fun for me to read that, to see that and think about how applicable it is. So anyone who has questions can certainly enter them in the Q&A bar at the bottom of your screen. If you have any questions, go ahead and put those in and we can pose those to Leslie. I was going to emphasize how much video of behavior really makes a difference for me. I think as an internal medicine specialist, things like, is this a seizure or is this a collapse episode? I do have quite a few people who've used those Nest cameras or some of the cameras they have at home in the middle of the night. And the people don't mind that I get to see them in their pajamas as they send me a video of, for example, a dog that's in heart failure, breathing, or if they have a collapse episode, a syncopal episode, trying to determine what's going on. And it really is, the picture versus is better than 1,000, or picture is worth 1,000 words and a video is worth 1,000,000 words. So I really think that that's an excellent recommendation. And I like how much you emphasized it.
Awesome.
So we do have a question. We got a response from Monica saying, very helpful, thank you. And then one of our attendees, the question is, once a dog or cat is upset, how hard is it to help them get better? For example, once something hurts, can they get past it?
I think it depends. If you're talking like in the moment, sometimes just taking a break, distracting your dog with some treats or some play, giving them a break, you can kind of reset and do the procedure or go on to the next procedure if there's more. Some dogs, if they get really scared and really nervous, then it might take a little bit more time, a little bit more training to help them get to feeling comfortable again. Or those pre-visit medications, those can also help with having your pet feel better as well too. And you want to talk to your vet about those as well too.
Yeah, the next question, the next part of that question is it better to work with a pup before they have problems?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, you definitely work on, you can work on handling, you can work on those happy visits, playing games, fun games in the parking lot, at the vet hospital, even just walking in and getting some treats from the vet care team, or walking in and getting a weight on the scale and getting some treats, just creating any type of positive association with the vet hospital and the vet care team is going to be beneficial. So the more positive experiences you have are gonna build up that happy bank account that I was talking about. So if you have to do a withdrawal where they get maybe there's a painful experience or they get nervous, it's not gonna be, they have such a higher base to withdraw from than if they start off with nothing.
Great.
So definitely, start as soon as you can with your puppies there, creating that positive association.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing that the veterinary staff covers more these days, are touching their toes, touching their mouths, things that prepares them for nail trims, teeth brushing, all of those things. So we have another question. First, the comment of, this is so helpful. And does Leslie recommend any specific brands of cat carriers? Not a soft one. It needs to be easy to clean, because my cat freaks out and regularly goes to the bathroom in it on the way to the vet. But I'm going to check out your resources.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really have a specific brand brand that I can recommend. I've seen somewhere the top, just there's like one latch kind of on the front and you turn it and then the top kind of slides back. I feel like those are pretty good, just because there's not a lot of things to undo and it's quiet. Sometimes those carriers that come off, there's a lot of screws to undo or a lot of clips, and just kind of taking those off can be pretty loud and kind of scary. So if you can find a top that doesn't have many clips or just slides off easily, or even a top that opens on the top and opens on the side, I think that would probably be beneficial as well too. So either one of those I think would be great if you're looking for like the harder tops there.
Yeah, and it sounds like things like using the feel away and other things that to minimize the stress. And I love that you mentioned pay attention to yourself, because sometimes, especially if you've had a pet that anticipates a negative experience at the veterinary hospital, and then you start having angst about an explosion or a swipe or a bite or a muzzle rejection or something, then they are, it's a blessing and a curse. They are so tuned into us sometimes. We love that most of the time, but you know, having our Zen experience at the veterinary hospital helps them trust that the outcome's going to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I also really appreciate you saying the sensitive part. So if I have a client come in and say, hey, they're really sensitive around their ears, making sure that that's the last thing we talk about, or if the ears aren't a problem, that I don't, you know, mess with them, because then there's a positive experience. And we try to make it so they leave without feeling ganged up on. I have a quick question. If you know you have a pet that's reactive, and with kitties, I'll call it a short fuse, how would you recommend owners convey that to the vet care team?
You could just say that my cat, you know, is a sensitive cat, and you could just say that they have a short fuse, or they don't have a lot of time for handling before they get really upset. So, you know, minimize the amount of handling that is needed for my cat, and then your vet care team will know what to do with that.
Yeah, I think that's something I really appreciate, because, you know, how, like you said, wants versus need, how important is a thermometer in this particular visit as the first thing, or do you get the necessary steps done before you start provoking potential reactivity?
Yeah.
So great. And Marty Richmond saying this is super awesome, and it is. Thank you. I think this is really valuable information. So it looks like we're slowing down on questions. So certainly, I think, thank you for putting all your information and contact information here, because I think people are recognizing the value of this planning. I had one more question, if you have time here.
Totally.
One of the conversations that I will have with pet owners, they don't realize that when the only time their pets get in the car, not true for dogs that go for walks and adventures, but maybe cats, is to go to the vet. Do you think happy rides around town is a worthwhile thing to do? Or are there times when that isn't an appropriate choice for certain pets?
Yeah, I think it depends on the cat. If you have like a really, a cat that's just really good with environmental changes and is comfortable traveling in their carrier, then you probably could do stuff like that. Most cats, I don't know if they're like that. I think the biggest thing that will make an impact is just doing that getting them comfortable with their carrier, and then having that feel away towel over the carrier. That will help minimize the visual stimuli that the cat's seeing. And if they're comfortable in their carrier, then, you know, everything else hopefully won't be as stressful, versus if they go in stressed and then they're on the stressful ride and then they're going to the vet hospital. So, so yeah, it depends on the cat for sure. But yeah, if you have a cat that is comfortable with doing stuff like that, I would probably just maybe do short rides and treat them with short rides. But yeah, I think it depends on the cat for sure. And most people will know if their cat is that cat that likes to go to places and likes to check stuff out and feels comfortable in different environments, versus if their cat's at home and just likes to lay in the sun or gets nervous going on rides. So I think most people will know which cat they have.
Okay, thanks. That makes sense. And it boils down to the individual personality, which is, I think, what you're saying is learning that and maximizing that relationship. So that's fantastic.
But you can train cats to do, like, you can leash train cats, and you can train cats to do, you know, a lot of cool stuff. And sometimes even just, you know, working with your cat and training your cat can also bring about as kind of a new cat that you see in front of you. So, you know, exposing your cat to these different things can also maybe make them more of an outgoing cat than they were before. So yeah, I think it still depends on the cat. You still have to know your cat and know your cat's limits, what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, and as someone who prescribes things like inhaler therapy for cats, a lot of that training can really pay off if you have positive reinforcement established as part of their routine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So great. Well, you got another great webinar. I really benefited from the info. So thank you. I think there's a lot of information here, and also a good way for everyone to think about their roles in the vet care team to make it a maximally beneficial experience for pets.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much. That was one. I love every webinar. I learned so much, and I think this one was very valuable, and very much appreciate your taking the time to work with us and share this.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And this is something I'm super passionate about, and I love talking about this kind of stuff. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for helping us be part of the human animal bond advocacy team for the people on the Central Coast. So, well, thank you everyone for coming. We'll go ahead. The people who couldn't make it, we'll post this, send you the link to the recording. And our next webinar is November 8th, and it's talking about planning for your pets in your trust and some of the things that people might think about. And I really want to say thank you, Leslie, for really good information, and thank you for being there for the community. And I suspect you may get some people reaching out to you for help after this wonderful presentation.
Awesome. Yeah.
So, great. All right. Well, on behalf of everyone at BirchBark, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Leslie, and keep on celebrating that human animal bond. Okay. Bye-bye.